Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Homestead Heart. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is doing very, very well on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday, right? And you all, I decided to come out here in the garden and answer this question that I received not long ago from one of our viewers. We often get letters and cards in the mail from our viewers just to simply say thank you for the content, or just to wish us well, or just to send us a prayer or things of that nature. We always get cards and whatnot in the mail, and we are like so appreciative of all those cards. And I still have them all, believe it or not. I'm running out of room in my box. But in any case, you all, I figured I was going to go ahead and answer this question. And actually, when I read it, it was from a person who's never grown anything. They've never grown any vegetables. They've never grown so much as a flower. So the question, there's nothing to be ashamed of about the question. I appreciate the question. It's a good question. And I'm going to answer it because I know that this individual is not the only one who wonders these things, right? So, Mrs. H, why do homesteaders have to grow so much food? Y'all grow so much food. What are you going to do with all that food? Why do you have to grow so much? Look, why? That's a very good question, right? I'm standing out here in my garden. It's the fall, so right now it's the brassica garden, with the exception of this one little okra plant that I got right here that's so beautiful, by the way. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful, you can't see it, but man, it's such a beautiful plant. It's just gorgeous. I absolutely wish, honestly, you can't really get a good look at it, but I honestly wish I could have taken that and overwintered that somehow, because it's just beautiful to look at. That is the motherland okra, and it's absolutely stunning, and I just love it. And the okra tastes great too, but I digress. Why in the world do homesteaders need to grow so much food? That's just too much food. I chuckled when I read it. I did. I laughed. It wasn't a hard laugh, but it was a laugh. It was enough. And so I figured I'd answer that question, but I'm going to answer it this way. Now, as I was stating, I'm out here in my brassica garden. And in my brassica garden, I have about 30 broccoli plants. Each plant is going to give me one head of broccoli, God willing. That's going to be 30 heads of broccoli. I got about the same in cauliflower. I got about the same in cabbages, or maybe a little bit more. Probably a little bit more in cabbages. I had a whole lot of counting what was going on with them cabbages, but they was doing it. And I have probably about, let's see, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 24. 24 plants of Brussels sprouts. And each one of those plants will give us a lot of Brussels, right? God willing. Okay? Why on earth do I need that much food? All at once? What you gonna do? What y'all gonna do? All the homesteaders out there that's growing this food, what y'all need with that many plants for? What y'all gonna do with all of this stuff? Okay, I'll tell you. Listen, I'm gonna put it this way. Hypothetically speaking, when you go to the market, whatever grocery store, it doesn't matter, when you go to market, let's just say you got a family of 4. And in your family of 4, your family loves potatoes. You love baked potatoes, boiled potatoes, French fries, hash browns. However you can cook a potato. Scalloped potatoes with cheese all over the top, right? However you cook them, you just love potatoes. And that little 5-pound bag is what you might buy. I'm not going to even say the big 10-pound bag. I'm just going to say the little 5-pound bag is what you buy, right? 5 pounds of potatoes in that little old bitty bag that you get, that's really not a lot. but that's what you buy every week, right? Or let's say, I think Bird's Eye carries that 5 pound bag of mixed vegetables, or it's a 5 pound bag of broccoli or something like that. But your family loves those vegetables and y'all eat those vegetables every night almost, or maybe 4 nights a week. You're going to put those vegetables on the table. It's just a little 5 pound bag, right? For your family of 4. Now, whether it's 5 pounds of mixed vegetables, 5 pounds of potatoes, that's still 5 pounds a week. That's 20 pounds every month. All right? 20 pounds a month times 12 months. What is that? 240 pounds, I think it is. Y'all can let me know if my math right. I think that's about what? 200. Let me see. I think it's about 240 pounds. I hope I'm right. Approximately, I'm just going to say it that way just in case I might be off. But I think I'm right. But that's about 240 pounds, right? A year. So when Mrs. H say, I need 150 pounds of onions, I want 150 pounds of potatoes, I need 100 and some odd pounds of broccoli. It might seem strange because we're growing it all at once, right? See, the difference is that when you grow that much food for yourself all at once, that means you're not going to the store for an entire year to buy that item. We store that item in different ways. So depending on what it is, you might can it, you might freeze it, you might dehydrate it, you might freeze dry it. There are going to be different ways that we'll store it, or we just may store it fresh depending on if it has a long storage or a long what they call storage life, right? If it stores well, you could probably get away with storing it for several months before you have to preserve it a different way. So the difference here is that if you go to the market and buy it, some of you buy yours every week or bi-weekly or monthly, and that's every single week or every single month for you. Whereas for us, we do this one time and it covers the entire year. Yeah, we're not going to the grocery store to buy the broccoli. We're not going to the grocery store to buy the potatoes because we got them. So we don't have to buy them. That's the difference. That's why we grow so much. Because we are feeding our entire family for a full year off of what we grow ourselves. Simple, right? I know it seemed like a lot. That's a whole lot of potatoes. I get it. When I watch some of the homesteaders on YouTube and they're harvesting their crops and I see all them seem like wheelbarrows full of stuff. I'm like, wow, that it looks like a lot. But once they start storing it up and the meal planning begins, then you really see that it's really not a lot. Sometimes it's just enough for you to have that particular food item twice a month, depending on what your harvest was. It might seem like a lot, like you might see somebody harvest 15 gallons of green beans. But by the time they get through canning those 15 gallons of green beans, it might only equate, depending on how good they are, it might only equate to 24 quarts of green beans once you get them snapped and canned, hypothetically. That's just 24 meals. If they have to use the entire quart to feed their family, that's just 24 meals, right? That means they can only have those green beans twice a month. So see, it's not really a lot. It might seem like a lot, right? But it's not really a lot because those meals are spread out over a 1 year span. Yeah. So that's how you have to look at it when you see people harvesting all this food. And you might be wondering, Lord, what they gonna do? That is, you need to give some of that stuff away, right? And while I'm not opposed, oh, that's you. While I'm not opposed to giving extra food away, like if you got extra and you need to share it with your family or the local food pantry in your area, I think that's a good idea. But you don't pressure someone into doing that. You don't tell somebody. You need to give someone. You don't tell nobody what they need to do. You don't do that because it was their blood, sweat, and tears that went into creating that. You know, that's just like telling somebody who work hard for their paycheck every week, you need to give some of that away. You know what I'm saying? Now, you don't tell nobody to do that. They do things out of the goodness of their heart. They give what they can spare, right? And that is how it goes, even with food harvest. So it might look like a lot to some people, but once that food gets processed in and the harvest gets put away, now that person has to calculate how much of this can we eat every month without running out until it's time to harvest this item again. And that's pretty much how I do it. Yeah, with my cushaw, my spaghetti squash, my butternut squash, you know, all of it. I have all of the cushaw put away with the exception of 4 because they're going to store real good. They had no worm damage at all. You know, sometimes you get those little worms that eat holes in them, and when they do, you got to go head on and process them because they will go bad. So whether you freeze them or you can it, you got to put it up some kind of way, because if you try to store it, it's not going to last. It's going to start to rot because the worm has eaten holes in it. So you got to take care of that right away. But we got 4 good ones that had no bug damage at all. So those will store really good. I mean, I've kept one for up to, I think, 10 months or something like that. They'll store really good as long as you keep them in a cool, dry place, right? They'll store well. So I have those. So, but I'm gonna probably eat those first, and then start to rely on what I have in my freezer. So right now in my freezer, I have enough cushaw in my freezer to feed our family twice, if I want to, every single week. That's 8 meals per month. And the way we love cushaw, oh yes. That's right on time for us, because last year we didn't get any. Yeah, so we're grateful for that. So just like last year we didn't get any cushaw, we got it this year. Last year we had an abundance of spaghetti squash. This year I only got 1. So these meals have to make up for each other. They have to cover down for each other, so to speak, because your harvest might not be the same from year to year. No matter what you grow, it could be different because you have so many factors. You have weather and pests, things that could just come along and take out your entire crop, right? And so you're going to rely heavily on something that did really well, right? So that's why we do it. That's why we grow so much. We grow it to last us for an entire year, you all. Yes, we do. And if you do have extra that you could spare, oh yeah, share it with your neighbors and your family. Share it with your local food pantry. Whatever you can spare, share it. But you don't do that before you take care of home, right? All right. That's going to do it, y'all. I just had to answer that question. I hope it answered your question. And I hope you got some kind of an entertainment out of this, because I did find it kind of entertaining the more I thought about it. But y'all, that's going to do it. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give our video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos we upload to our channel. Thank you all again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Remember to grow your groceries. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.